Do you know about the whole Paddy Pimblett, Ariel Helwani drama?
I know most of it. I haven't seen Ariel's response because it was an hour and 15 minutes long.
I can tell it real fast. So there's a MMA journalist named Ariel Helwani who's on the outs with the UFC, most of all with Dana White. He's been excluded and cut out as many times as Dana White can, but he can't kill him because he's a very popular guy in the industry. Dana White goes on Paddy Pimblett, who is a new and upcoming stars podcast. The boss goes on a junior fighters podcast, and they shit all over Ariel Helwani, and they say some just lots of insults and things, but moreover, like the Paddy's complaint, this very popular young fighter, was that Ariel doesn't pay people that he interviews, and that he's making money off of fighters via his interviews and his platform and his YouTube channel, and they're making him out to be this guy who's just predatory. And then, of course, Ariel Helwani goes on his show today, and for an hour and a half, he destroys them. For an hour and a half, he destroys them. He's got text messages and voice memos and evidence, and he's got this. He goes step by step, playing everything they said, and like taking the high road anytime they call him a scummy cocksucker. I mean, like, we're not gonna deal with that. And then, but then, like, he wants step by step showing how that everything they said was kind of silly or a lie, and like setting up the timing. Basically, Paddy goes to Ariel. This is months back. The timeline is this. Paddy goes to Ariel and says, "Hey, could we set up an interview?" Ariel says, "Yeah, we could absolutely do that. Let's set it up." And Paddy's like, "All right, talk to my manager, Mark. He'll get your thing set up." Mark says, "Hey, we'd like you to get a budget together for this interview. You know, we get paid for our time, and a lot of people are doing that now." And Ariel's like, "I don't do that. I don't pay people for interviews. I've never paid for an interview. Sorry, that's not a thing that I do." And so they get into this whole back and forth where Paddy's guy's like offended, and Ariel's like, "Look, Conor McGregor doesn't get paid for interviews. Like, do you think Joe Rogan pays his guests? Do you think, you know, any number of people, Larry King pays his guests? No, these people come on because it's media. That's what we're doing here." And basically, Paddy was made to look a fool, and his Instagram is just him really being shit on. It's been interesting because he's a real fan favorite, but not today. And he's got a big fight coming up this weekend. It's one of those. He's a guy who's trying to rise up the rankings. He's incredibly popular with the fans, but but every fight seemingly is a bit of a bigger test for him. And you know, everybody's, "Oh, can he be champion?" It's like he hasn't done anything. He hasn't beaten anyone really of note. And it's funny that he's shitting all over Ariel, because he was the guy when it was revealed that Paddy makes $12,000 to show and $12,000 to win. He was the one to be like, "That's horse shit. He just filled an arena. Like, he just filled an arena. He just sold pay-per-view, and you're paying him $24,000. Like,
Paddy the Baddy's a very popular fighter. Kyle knows this, and but he's on the starter contract, which is like what, 12 to show and 12 to win, something like that. And which is pretty low pay for a UFC fighter. For most professional athletes, that's pretty low.
Yeah.
And yeah, so after two fights, he's still on that stupid contract, but he's as popular as the top guys. But he hasn't beaten anybody good. I can't name a person Paddy's beaten, but I can tell you they sing his song when he walks into the octagon. And I can tell you every time he talks, I listen. I don't know what it is about him, but he has it. So I'm captivated by him. I'm captivated by the fact that this guy fights at maybe 155. I think that's right, but I'm not sure.
Yes.
And balloons to like 205 between fights. He gains 50 fucking pounds. He's unrecognizable. He's one of those people that puts on fat in his face really easily. And he looks like a different human. He looks like a caricature of Fight Night Paddy the Baddy. Like someone photoshopped him and tried to make
They call
him
him
like
Paddy the Fatty.
Yeah, and he's like, "You guys body shamed me. You said I could never make weight." I don't know. Look, it works for him. John Jones used to do that too. He'd get really out of shape.
Nobody like Paddy. Nobody does it like Paddy. And he didn't do it this time, to be fair.
I love his hair.
Look at the cheek, so like the sunken in cheeks on the right and the swollen ones on the left. Like it, and that's not even his fattest picture. But
no, he gets so big, dude. Like he gets disgusting. He's the man. He can fucking do it. And look. We talk about it here so many times.
He's never
calories
missed
in
weight.
and calories the fuck out.
Cool.
And when you're a professional athlete like that, like, you can just do it.
think there's a finite number of times you can go up and down like that.
Oh, it's not great for
you.
Yeah.
And moreover, like I've heard Chelsea
Christian
make this
Bale.
point, like the UFC, like in particular, no other sport is like this. Yeah, right. If you stay in shape and you stay fight ready, even if you don't have a fight this weekend, if you're there in town, they can call you up. It's one of those things where like people get cut and bumped and bruised and sprained. I can't fight tonight. And if you're there and you can make the weight and you're a name like he is, you can just jump in. They'll be like, all right, fuck. You can make weight? Yeah. By tomorrow? Absolutely. By right now, if you want. And like those guys can step in and make tens of millions of dollars. It's why it's Conor McGregor would always say yes. Whenever they were like somebody got hurt and they were going to be a different opponent or whatever, it's like, look, we're putting the fight on too. We've sold this shit. Like we're doing it. Like he didn't cancel has Conor ever like pulled out or been the guy who like caused one not to go off? Khabib has. All of your favorite fighters more or less have. Like I
can't think of a time Conor didn't do it. I can tell you Conor has showed up injured and
so
fought. Yeah,
and won and lost. Yeah,
yeah. I think he was going to fight Cole Miller, a fighter I like a lot. He's probably retired now, and the guy's thumb was hurt. Now he's a grappler, so that's a big deal to him. But his thumb's hurt. He's like, I'm pulling out. I can't fight with this bad thumb. And Conor's like, a thumb? You don't need a thumb to fight. This guy's
what else does he say?
He just says "tum" a lot. I don't know.
I want to get good at doing Woody doing impressions. Oh, it's a Tom. Oh, Tom. And if he had gone a little more, it would have got the ear. Because Woody always approaches like South Park style Mexican. It's funny. Yeah, this guy Paddy the Baddy seems awesome. Paddy Pimblett,
a fan favorite.
Good for him. 19-3, but you're saying like these only his most recent 3 are actually in the UFC.
Yeah, it's shocking when you see him come into the stadium. Like when Woody says they sing his song, his song is like, "Oh, Paddy the Baddy." They're like chanting his name. They're singing his name as he comes in and having a goddamn meltdown. And a ton of them have that same stupid fucking haircut as him.
Really?
Yeah.
Like leader.
Like, watch Saturday night on the TV coverage when he walks out. There's going to be like a handful of guys out there with that same fucking haircut, and it's blonde. It's blonde. Mine's about the same as his right now. I haven't had a haircut in like 4 months or something. Mine, I pulled mine down. It's about like his, but that blonde.
Oh.
I thought you were saying your hair is just as blonde, and I'm like, let him.
Oh no,
it looks. I knew that Paddy the Baddy had like some connection with Dave Portnoy, like the Barstool Sports
the BT
owner.
Sports stuff. Yeah.
It looks like they signed him to a 7-figure deal. Barstool did. So like, he's doing good now, seemingly. Like
Superman does good
because of the publicity he got off the back of Ariel Helwani.
But I mean, this is show business, right? Like the fighting matters in the UFC to some degree, but so does the persona and the publicity around it and the fan engagement and everything.
Oh yeah. We have no problem with him making money. Yeah.
I always tell my wife, like, for a guy to be successful in the UFC, he needs to do 2 things. He needs to fight well, and he needs to be good on the mic. And for a girl to be successful, she needs to fight well and she neneeds to be pretty. That's that's how you do it.
Well, not just successful. Like, if you want to be superstar, like you could be successful and be an ugly motherfucker, or whatever. But like to be a superstar, like I mean, look at the mold. It's already there. Look at Ronda Rousey, someone who comes out. Her style didn't matter. She was pretty and she got that shit over in 30 seconds, and she had a mystique. Her style was boring as shit. Her style was judo. For those who don't know, she grabs you by the arm, slings you to the floor, and puts you in an arm bar, and you tap out. Like, so many of her fights are like a minute, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes against people who don't have any jujitsu. It's she's running through them. But that was the weight class at the time. There weren't a lot of girls with jujitsu. There weren't a lot of girls who could stand and bang and like had good boxing. And she just ran through them, and she was really pretty. And she's pretty good on the microphone too. I watched her Howard Stern interview, and I thought, wow, she's okay, good. She's representing herself in the sport well. Because whenever you see MMA has gotten huge in the last 2 or 3 years, especially with the pandemic. The pandemic was amazing for it. But man, I feel 7 years ago, I can remember people talking shit on the growth numbers and stuff, and like Dana was having to defend his numbers, and he'd be like, yeah, but maybe last week didn't go so well, but look at this number. You know, it was kind of like that. It wasn't like it was in decline, but it wasn't gangbusters. But since that buyout deal and all that stuff, it's been huge. To me, in my world anyway, maybe all my algorithms just feed me UFC, but seems to me in my little world that the UFC is a big deal.
Yeah,
it's doing well.
It definitely is.